Special Master Raymond Dearie is calling Trump and his team out for not presenting any evidence to back up their claims. So now the Special Master, of course, who was charged with reviewing the documents seized by the FBI from Mar-a-Lago, had expressed a little bit of skepticism, and that shouldn't be a surprise, on Tuesday over claims by Trump's lawyers that certain documents were privileged, and therefore the DOJ, you can't look at them, they're privileged. Now, in a phone conference, Deary complained that Trump had lacked sufficient information to determine whether the team's arguments were valid. So his solution, of course, is, well, send us the information. We can't determine whether or not these are privileged unless you provide the proof that they're privileged. In fact, here is what Deary had said in the call. Quote, "It's a little perplexing as I go through the log. What's the expression? Where's the beef? I need some beef.
I like my meat tight. Tighten up my meat."
Seriously, though, when it comes to Trump, he is all hat and no cattle. Always has been. He keeps saying, oh, these documents are privileged. They're privileged. But when it comes time to prove it, the other thing is, he kept claiming that, oh, no, these were unclassified. They were unclassified. Okay, where is the order showing that you unclassified? Where is it? Where is it? You can't just do it with, unilaterally with your mind powers without telling anyone. You at least, yes, have to tell people, oh, by the way, I am declassifying these while you still have the authority to unclassify these things. Once you're no longer president, you lose that authority. So if he had unclassified these materials before leaving office, then there would be some sort of record, wouldn't you think? And if they had the record, don't you think they would have already presented that record? If they were smart, yes. If they had it, yes. Which tells you two things, or one of two things, or maybe two of two things. They're not smart, and they don't have the evidence. That said, the only reason that we have this special master farce to begin with, and not to throw any shade on Raymond Dearie, he's doing his job, he's doing what he was, supposed to do. And by the way, he is saying like, hey, we need the information. You want me to do this job? I'll do this job. It's what I'm supposed to do. But you at least have to give me evidence to back up your claims of privilege so I can do my job correctly. But the only reason this continues is because of Judge Cannon, who keeps, for some reason, going out of his way, or her way, sorry, to protect Donald Trump. So it makes me wonder, what does Trump have on the judge? If anything, I'm just curious. Maybe not. Maybe he doesn't have anything. I don't know. But there's an example of a document here that's being disputed, and it's where Mr. Trump's lawyers, this is according to the Washington Post, have claimed that was his personal property, not a government record, and yet had also claimed that this not government property is protected by executive privilege. That is a designation that is generally used for presidential records. So now Deary says this, quote, "Unless I'm wrong, and I've been wrong before, there's an incongruity, certainly an incongruity there. Yes, that would seem to be a little contradictory. Oh, yes, this is absolutely mine. This is part of my personal property, but it is also protected by executive privilege. Wait, hold on here. Look, Deary, you're on the right track, okay? Because, look, you can do one or the other, but you can't really do both. And if you don't have the authority, then you actually can't even do one of them. You no longer have executive privilege when you are no longer an executive." Now, the judge also said he wanted more information to support Trump's claims that some of the documents were shielded by attorney-client privilege. Now, that's, of course, very important as well. We have attorney-client privilege for a reason. And so, yes, sure, it makes sense to go through the documents to see whether or not they are protected by that certain privilege. So now Deary asked the next logical question in that line of questioning. Okay, if they're protected by attorney-client privilege, then I would like to know who are the lawyers that are named in this, right? What lawyers of yours, and he's got a lot of lawyers, which ones are connected here? It's a simple question. Just give me the names of the lawyers. Just let me know, okay, it's protected by attorney-client privilege, and this is my attorney. That's why you can't look at them. All right. Again, have they presented any evidence so far of that? No. Now, he also said this, quote, where third parties are involved in the document, I need some understanding why the presence of the third party doesn't defeat the privilege. Again, he's saying if the third party is involved, then is it really confidential? If you're getting other people outside involved, that's weird. Now, the response from a lawyer for Trump named James Trusty, which, by the way, it's only somebody that you could see in one of those weird infomercials. James Trusty, you can trusty us to represent your case. Weird TV sounding lawyer. Okay. Anyway, here's what his response was. He said that the legal team would, quote, certainly take you up on it in presenting, of course, evidence to address these matters. Oh, yeah. We're working on it. We're working on it real hard. Yes. Yeah. Anytime now, we will present you with exactly what you're looking for. At some point. They ain't got it. They don't have the evidence. There's no way that Trump has evidence to back him up, or else it already would have been presented. Judge Deary also noted that even though Trump's lawyers had at one point said the 11,000 or so documents amounted to about 200,000 pages, the actual number is actually much smaller, about 21,792 pages. Now, the Justice Department, this is a lawyer for the Justice Department, said that the reason for the discrepancy is that a company hired to scan the documents and upload them onto a database so that they could be shared with Mr. Trump's legal team had overestimated the page count by a lot. Now, during the conference, Judge Deary had some, harsh words for both sides for not resolving any of these or more of these issues amongst themselves, including a dispute whether a certain unsigned legal letter addressed to the Justice Department had been sent to the government. The report finally notes that it remains unclear whether the special master process will play out to its conclusion. And that right there is, I think, the most interesting part. Considering how it's, in my opinion, it's very unlikely that Trump has the evidence to back up these ridiculously wild claims, that the documents were not government property, but all belonged to him. And that his personal documents were protected by whatever privilege he thinks he can assert at the time. It's my thought that Judge Cannon is going to try to get involved again. She's already been involved. She's already meddled in the process before. That's the whole reason we have a special master to begin with. And now that's backfiring. The Justice Department has also asked the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals in Atlanta to overturn the meddling, but that doesn't mean that she won't try again. The appeals court has actually had to step in already to block a portion of Judge Cannon's order and exempted about 100 documents marked as classified from review. And look, they've also, Trump had tried to go to the Supreme Court already, and the Supreme Court is not interested. So he's getting smacked down, and basically at this point, the only people that he has on his side, at least in this case, is Judge Cannon. Which means, at least in this case, there seems to be a few checks and balances left, thankfully. But at the same time, I am concerned about the strength of those checks and balances, especially if we end up having a Republican, led House and Senate after the midterms. If Republicans take Congress, well, who knows how much they would decide to intervene in whatever vehicle they could to try to save Donald Trump once again. And adding to my own little conspiracy theory on this one is that I believe that Cannon and Trump are hoping for this. And that's why they're stalling. They want to help stall the entire process so that, Republicans win the midterms and can save Donald Trump again, just like they saved him 2 different impeachments. Again, that's my theory on that. I don't know if I'm correct, but we'll have to see, I guess. We'll have to see.